Hey everyone, how you going? Welcome to a very realistic, messy kitchen. We're going to do a clean with me today. If you haven't met me before, hey, I'm Kelly. I'm the Frugal Fun Mum here in Adelaide, Australia, living with my husband and my two children. I'll talk about them later. And I am doing the Q&A that people had asked me quite a few months ago, finally getting around to filming it. I did have this in my phone ages ago, but I had to delete the footage and refilm. So I thought, perfect opportunity to do it now. I am still technically on holidays for some Zumba classes I've just taught today, hence why I'm in the Zumba clothes. And you would have seen that I actually planned to clean this earlier today because I did the pan shot of it during the day, and then life happened, and then I didn't get around to it until I'm home after Zumba. So that's the realism of life. I'm told that people enjoy my channel with my videos because what I do is real life. So yes, it's probably a little bit embarrassing putting it out there on the internet, but I just hope that if I can inspire one person to be able to clean, then it's all worth it. I have really discovered Leaf Like on a Tree, and she does 1 hour better cleans, and I meant to hold up my phone for a timer. I can tell you right now that this evening clean took 42 minutes and I was kind of done, and I just did this kind of half of the kitchen, and then the rest of it I get to tomorrow. So I will go through the questions. I won't put them up on screen because it takes a lot to edit, but I'll read them out to you. Question 1, what are your top 3 places to visit in Adelaide? I would definitely say Glenelg because it has everything there. It has shops, it has restaurants, it has the beach, it has the hotels that are there, bars. There's also the like a sea museum type thing, maritime museum. There's just lots of little things to do. There's also the old Magic Mountain, what's it called, the beach house now. It's the old Magic Mountain. So there's lots of arcade games and stuff like that in there. Mini golf, lots of things. So yeah, I definitely think that's a really good place for tourists. I think Rundle Mall's pretty good because again, you've got the shops, but then you've got the botanical gardens, and then you've got the parklands and other things like that too. And when we have events here, like the Fringe is really good to visit. Where else? The Barossa is pretty good if you're into wine tasting and stuff. I've only been there once. I've lived here my whole life and I've rarely been anywhere, which is quite funny. But I did go to the Barossa on an Avon trip that I earned, and it was really beautiful up there, and I didn't realize there was so much to do. I don't drink at all, but I was just so impressed with the amount of things that was up there to do. Harndorf is amazing. So many little shops. There's a cute little lolly shop up there and just lots of little antique stores and things like that. Question 2, what is your favorite food to prep and eat out? My favorite food to prep is probably the chicken risotto that we make, I think because everyone enjoys it, but I also really like it. And that's probably one of my most favorite to eat out, but we just don't anymore. And actually the place that we used to go, they're not there anymore that make it. I probably to go to like an all-you-can-eat buffet. There's Charlie's Diner here at Brighton. That's probably my favorite because it has a little bit of everything. I always love a roast. If I go out, if we go to a food court, I'll usually find a carvery and have that. And I love Chinese food as well. So yeah, but eating out is pretty rare, but I happily will go to someone's house for a meal. That's always a good option too. What are the prices like at Costco? What's the cost of membership? So this was a question that I got asked actually a couple of times. So I've actually done a few hauls and walkarounds in Costco. I've done the entire meat section, and I'm told that the prices of Costco are the same all around Australia. So I know with grocery prices, they vary from state to state, but I'm told Costco are solid in all the places. I've done the entire bakery section, I've done the entire freezer section and the entire fridge section. I didn't do the pantry section yet. I could go back and do it if people are interested. Just takes ages to do it, and there's so many people around, and then doing the voiceover because I want to make sure that there's no conversations happening in my video. The cost of membership is $60. I believe it is $55 if you have an ABN, if you're a business owner, and it's a year-long membership, and then they'll send send you an email for you to renew. It's not an automatic renewal. And then sometimes people will hold off to renew until next time they're going there. But sometimes Costco send you offers too, to say like, hey, if you renew your membership, we'll give you a free pizza or a free cooler bag, whatever. Sometimes they have offers there too, that if you join up with a friend, then you both get a $10 voucher. The offers change all the time. So I highly recommend just signing up to the Costco emails. At least you can get an idea. A member can take one person with them into store, and you can't shop without a membership or buy anything, but you can go in there and you can just put things in their trolley and give them cash. That's how I do it if I go with a friend. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Question 4 is about budgeting cooking videos and my favorite shopping center to visit in Adelaide. So yeah, I really love doing some of the budget cooking videos. Some of them are just a little bit challenging because we have people in the house with sensory and texture needs. I probably eat the most out of everyone that's here. I'm not really a fan of broccoli. That's probably the only thing. But I will eat like peas and beans and lettuce and celery and lots of stuff. Then my daughter's probably the next person who probably eats the biggest range of things. And then my son and my husband are pretty bland with a lot of their foods. So yeah, budget wise, I don't mind. It's just it just takes a lot of energy to cook sort of 2 or 3 separate meals, because I'm already cooking usually a meal for my son and then a meal for us, and then have to cook another meal on top of that. It can be a lot of work. So, but I am planning on doing some more in the future. My favorite shopping centers to visit in Adelaide is anything that's like a Westfield, or I think we have Centro like at Colonnades. So anything that has like a lot of stores inside of it, because that's pretty easy. I used to really like Rundle Mall as well, because it kind of had everything in there, and they have some things there like Lincraft, and now Kmart's in there and Reject Shop and stuff like that. So pretty much what you can find inside a Westfield is in the Rundle Mall. So I like anywhere where there's lots of little shops and then I can just walk around. Question 5, do you live in the city or are you rural, and what's the weather like? So I technically live in the suburbs or the city. Yeah, so rural is probably anything that's like about an hour drive from the CBD, and I'm more kind of in the southern area of the city. And the weather, they say that we're closer to Melbourne weather. We kind of used to be a little bit more independent, but yeah, we are kind of getting to the weather patterns change all the time. This week has been like 30-degree days, 32, 34. By the evening, it's starting to drop right down to like 17 degrees, but during the day it gets warm. However, last week it was, like 23, 26, then it was 18 one day. So weather is all over the joint. So yeah, it depends what day it is. But yeah, usually it's not too bad until it hits like 40 degrees. And then that's when I'm ready to move to Antarctica. That's when I kind of hang the washing out at 10 p.m. at night, and then it's pretty much dry by 6 a.m. in the morning. Not that I'm up getting it that early, but yeah, it happens pretty quick. If you could go on holiday anywhere, where would you go? I would love to go to Paris, just because I would love to see the Eiffel Tower. I'd love to go to America. I have a friend there who's in Avon, and I would just love to visit her because I've known her for a few years. I would love to go to Korea because I just think their culture is really beautiful. I'd probably like to go to Tasmania. I'd never been there. I'd like to travel just to go and see people or see friends. I love the Gold Coast. I think I know it pretty well now, being there for a few Avon conferences and stuff. So yeah, I just like to go places. If I can go shopping, I'll go. Question 7, do you have any future plans for the channel? Not really. I'm just kind of doing what I'm doing. I do have a goal this year of achieving 5,000 subscribers. So I'm hoping that by this time next year, I'll look back and go, yes, we achieved that. I just want to do the same, just helping people and sharing frugal tips and tricks. Yeah, so if you have any suggestions of things that you'd love to see, leave them down below. Question 8, what are the ages of your children and are they both on the spectrum? So I have 2 children. My daughter is 22 and my son is 19. And my son is officially diagnosed with autism. He was when he was 2.5. And my daughter is not officially diagnosed, but absolutely should be on there. My daughter is more on the ADHD side. Again, unofficially diagnosed, but you know, hello, you just point and go, yep, there she is. But my son does have official diagnosis because that helps with funding and schooling and stuff like that. I think for my daughter, because she was just in that routine and system, and it just doesn't get picked up till later on in life with girls. So I think that once she got to kind of university and TAFE, everything wasn't as structured. So then that's when she started having difficulties. And we kind of just went, yeah, we've known there's been something there all along, but now it's just kind of finally popped up. So it doesn't change anything. We just kind of go, yeah, it is what it is. I'm probably realizing more now that I have ADHD as well. And again, yeah, it is what it is. In some aspects, there's no point getting diagnosed because we deal with it within reason. If it became a major issue, then we might look at it. But apart from that, we're fine. Question 9, how do you save money with everything going up? Well, that is starting to get a little bit harder, to be honest. I'm just really focusing a lot on my budget and just sticking to a lot of the frugal habits that I do. You can see the video, I have 56 frugal habits. I just do stuff all the time that just add up to the big picture, because I believe it's little things every day that add up to all the savings and things like that. So tracking grocery prices, shopping within a budget, meal planning, even though I don't do it, but I meal plan around the markdown meats, buying markdown meats or any markdown products as long as you're going to use them. They're just putting in all those little tips and tricks. Again, like I said, they're all going to add up to the bigger picture. So question 10 was, why were the media coming to your house? And like I said, this video is a couple of months overdue. So back in July, I was on Sunrise with Koshi and Nat, I think it was, or Koshi and Kylie. I can't remember. Apparently one of the hosts wasn't there on the day and they changed it, and it was so funny. So I've got a video up about the behind the scenes of what that was like. It was so funny. One of the producers saw a picture that I put of my markdowns in a group and contacted me and said, we'd love to talk to you about markdown shopping, because then they found me on YouTube and they were like, we'd love to do a feature on you. And it was just really hard because as much as I love sharing what I do, I just knew that kind of there'd be some backlash and stuff like that. So I have talked about that too in my wrap up end of year video. It was a lot of fun, absolutely, and I'd be open to more media in the future. But you just got to be really careful with kind of the story or the idea of where they want to go and how you're going to be portrayed, because it is your reputation on the line at the end of the day. Question 11, what is your favorite markdown you have found? Probably a few years ago now, I found a whole lot of the little 300ml cartons of cream. They were 10 cents each. One of the Coles near me was doing a refit, so they cleaned out just so much stock. I think anything that I find that I know we're going to use, like cream or like broccoli or fruit and veg, and if I can use it or freeze it straight away, then I'm really happy. Basically, I think with the cost of food going up right now, anything that I can find is a bonus. I have limits with stuff. I have a video on the channel like inflation. I won't pay that, talking about the prices that I set for things. So yeah, anything that I can find that's a bargain is worth it. If you're going to buy it anyway, then you might as well save a bit. And question 12 is, what times or days are best for markdowns? Oh, that's the $1 million question. So I have a video on the channel that says the truth behind markdown shopping and also the secrets to markdown shopping. And it talks about what the best days or times are for me, for my area, because I live in Adelaide and it is completely different to anywhere else in Australia that I'm finding. Basically, my best tip is to go in store and ask them when they do their markdowns, because then that way they'll be able to tell you. Hopefully you've caught them on a bad day. Sometimes they'll say when I do it. But in Woolworths, on the yellow sticker on the top corner, there's actually a timestamp, so you'll be able to know that the time that they did the markdown, so you can at least get a bit of a ballpark figure. Around sort of 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm finding some good markdowns because they try and catch the school mums. but also sometimes going really late at night, you'll catch some markdowns that no one's caught around that 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it really just depends. I find that the eastern states have many more markdowns because their stores don't close till sort of 10 o'clock at night. So they mark down like really right before close. But in Adelaide, a lot of our area managers are kind of gone home by 7 p.m. when the store's still open till 9. So a lot of markdowns are kind of done and finished by sort of 7-ish. It really just depends. So yeah, just go in and ask. Well, that's all the questions that I had from the last Q&A. If you have any more, feel free to write them down below. Be more than happy to do another video because I have noticed some other questions pop up from time to time on other videos I've done, and I'd love to do a voiceover video like this, and then you can either clean along with me and just listen, or you can sit and watch. I like to sit and watch people clean and see the transformation. I think it's amazing. So thank you so much for your time today. I so appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.